Frequent urination. This occurs because when excess sugar gets into the bloodstream, the body will get rid of the extra sugar through urination. Excessive thirst. The body uses water already in it to get rid of extra sugar in the bloodstream. This extra water is used to pass the sugar out of the body through urination. As more water is used to get rid of the excess sugar in the bloodstream, the body will want more water, making the person thirsty. Constant hunger. Diabetics become hungry because the body never properly digests the foods they eat for fuel, causing them to be hungry. Weakness is also a symptom of diabetes. Eventually, this occurs because foods do not properly digest and the fuel from the foods does not get into the cells of the body. So excessive hunger, excessive thirst, excessive urination, and weakness are the 4 major symptoms of diabetes. So next I want to show you a diagram that I drew that's going to teach you more about how diabetes occurs. I hope that once we look at this that you'll be able to understand diabetes better. So the first thing we have to realize with diabetes is we have a pancreas. The pancreas produces insulin. Inside the pancreas, again, we have insulin. The insulin actually attaches to sugar in the bloodstream. So we have sugar in the bloodstream. All food is converted into sugar or glucose and is used for energy. We also have fat cells throughout the body. Now you'll notice that in my diagram, in the bloodstream as well as in the fat cells, 3 sugars are normal. Anytime we have more than 3 sugars in the fat cells or in the bloodstream, then the sugar levels in the fat cells or the bloodstream will become too high. So normally when a person eats food, let's say we eat a piece of broccoli. Well, when we eat a piece of broccoli, the broccoli enters into the body and the body turns that broccoli into sugar. And that sugar then goes into the bloodstream. So right now we have 3 sugars in the bloodstream, which is considered normal. So now we've eaten a piece of broccoli. That broccoli now is turned into sugar into the bloodstream, and that sugar is now in the bloodstream. Well, the pancreas realizes that now we have 4 sugars in the bloodstream, and the pancreas is going to send an insulin to attach to the sugar, and that insulin now is going to take that sugar and place it in a fat cell. So here we find a fat cell that has 2 sugars in it, and now this insulin is going to place this sugar in the fat cell. Okay, so now we have 3 sugars in the fat cell. That leaves the sugar in the bloodstream back to normal. However, with people with diabetes, it doesn't quite take place such as this. Now, many times people with diabetes, they are eating unhealthy foods. So we're going to say that they're eating something sweet such as a Twinkie. So they eat a piece of Twinkie. The Twinkie now goes into the body and the body turns the Twinkie into sugar. So now we have a sugar in the bloodstream. Again, the pancreas is going to realize, hey, there is too much sugar in the bloodstream, and the pancreas is going to send an insulin to attach to the sugar. And this insulin now is going to try to find a fat cell to put this sugar in. However, every fat cell that the insulin finds is full of sugar. Here we have 3, which means it's full. Here we have 3, which means it's full. Here we have 3 sugars in the fat cells, which means it's full. Here we have 3 sugars in the fat cells, which means it's full. So now the insulin has no other choice than to leave the sugar in the bloodstream, and this is too much sugar in the bloodstream. So now what the body does is it's going to send this excess sugar through the kidneys out of the urinary bladder, and this patient now is going to start urinating in excessive amounts. Now, it takes a lot of water to urinate excessive amounts of sugar out of the bloodstream, and this is going to cause that person to become thirsty. It's going to also cause a lot of energy to be taken out of the body, which is going to make the person hungry, and it's going to also make them weak. So this is why patients have those three main symptoms of diabetes. Now, I want to also show you the importance of exercise, because when we exercise, that takes sugar levels out of the bloodstream, and it also burns sugars in the fat cells. So let's make an example. Let's say every half a mile that we run when we exercise, we're burning a sugar out of the bloodstream or fat cell. So we now still have 4 sugars in the bloodstream, but we decide that we're going to run, let's say 2 miles. Well, the half a mile mark, we have burnt a sugar. So what happens is our sugar levels now through exercise has become back normal. Also, let's say we run 2 miles. Well, the body now is going to take a sugar out of the fat cell and place it in the bloodstream to burn for energy. And eventually, the more sugar that we take out of the fat cells, it causes the fat cells to shrink. We're now sweating, we're now using energy, and this helps reduce the symptoms of diabetes. So this is why a healthy diet, exercise, along with sunlight, because sunlight also helps to absorb sugar levels in the bloodstream, is very important to help prevent and reverse diabetes. I hope this chart has blessed you. I hope now that you do understand more about diabetes from this chart, and that it educated you more concerning diabetes. Diabetes simply means too much sugar in the bloodstream. Every food we eat, the body turns into sugar to use for fuel. Whether it be fruits, vegetables, meats, dairy products, cakes, or pies, all food is turned into fuel for energy by the body. But not all foods are created equal. Some foods give the body better sugar or fuel than others. For example, when you put different type of gases in your car, the type of gas that you put in your car can determine how well it runs. If you put 92 octane gas in your car, chances are it's going to run better than if you put 87 type octane gas in your car. Foods that God intended for you to eat give the body better sugar or fuel than man-made foods. Man-made foods lead to diabetes, but the foods that God originally intended for you to eat do not lead to diabetes. All vegetables are great for diabetics because of their low calorie content. They help prevent obesity, which is seen in most diabetic patients. Fruits. Fruits are good for diabetics because the sugar in the fruits is called fructose. It does not need insulin to enter the fat cells. The fat cells allow fructose that's found in fruit into them without the key, which is called insulin. And we remember that insulin takes sugar into the fat cells. Whole grains, oats, wheat, barley, millet, they are great for diabetics because of their low sugar and high fiber content. Beans or legumes, they regulate sugar levels in the blood because of their high fiber content. Raw nuts and seeds contain vitamins and minerals needed in a diabetic's diet. Now, these foods are called complex sugars because they all have fiber in them. When your body digests a food that contains fiber, its sugar goes into the bloodstream very slowly, thus causing the blood sugar levels to stay normal at all times. Also, the fiber in these foods help push fecal matter out of the colon, helping to prevent obesity, which is common among type 2 diabetics.